Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping I caught that. Hello, everybody! Welcome! It is Tuesday night. It is chaos, but we are here playing some Dungeons and Dragons here at Indigo Chameleon. It's me, your good buddy Scribe. We have a few announcements before we get started with tonight's game. As always, we welcome everybody that's tuning in tonight to hang out with us on the Discord. Schedule updates, memes, some play-by-posts, including Blood and Bourbon, which is closing on Halloween night. So we're losing a play-by-post, so that is closing on Halloween night. But we also have some fun stuff, some inspiration channels, and Dimitri's store online where you can find some homebrewed items for your very own D&D game. So tune into the Discord. Not only do we have a Discord, but we have a shop where you can buy cool shirts like the one that Indigo Chameleon is wearing. Or you can have the mug that Indigo is drinking out of.
That one right there.
That one right there.
That exactly.
That's extra.
We'll send you that mug.
I like this mug.
We're
I
gonna
like
send
what's
that
in
mug.
it. But
Oh, check out that sticker. Nice. You can buy Alcaboose Bender's tablet.
That
Very
exact tablet.
expensive.
It's got his character sheet on it and everything.
So,
You can have
thank you
Chip.
for everybody that's purchased. You can buy that, Chip. Thank you for everyone that's purchased items and helping support the channel and bringing a little karma into your life. Not only can you buy physical goods that are sent to your home, but you can buy digital goods. Dimitri's online store is available if you're watching the stream via desktop. Just scroll down a little bit, you'll see a live store where you can buy digital items to level up your Twitch avatar. You can even buy items that influence the game, items that you can give to players. You can implant yourself or a loved one as an NPC into the world of your choosing. There is some fun stuff. Today's brand new item is, what did I put in there? Oh, it's Harvey's pocket watch. This is Grimm's physical connection to Harvey, his passenger that rides alongside of him, and some fun descriptions that dive into a little bit of the White Rabbit lore. So that is the digital item that's up for grabs today. So thank you for everybody that purchased this stuff, and it helps us keep the lights on. Stuff upcoming on the channel. Today is Tuesday. Nothing going on Wednesday, except for a podcast that I'm bringing back from the dead. That is possibly streaming. I'm not sure if we can get it up and running, but it's in the works. Me and my good buddy Hutch are going to be bringing back this podcast we used to do years ago called Nerding Out About. And this week we are covering The Shining. So if we can get it up and running, you can come hang out with us and talk about movies and hang out, and it's going to be a good time as we dive into The Shining proper. And then I will announce the date for Hutch and for the good of the channel. I am doing something I promised myself I would never do. I'm doing a review on the movie It.
Yep.
Oh.
There it is.
And I'm not happy about it. But I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna need to know the date.
I would like to be
Okay,
in the room where it
the old
happened.
one or the new one?
The new one.
Okay.
I've seen the old one.
Okay.
The new one, I'm watching part one. Okay, so yeah, Thursday night you can join Indigo Chameleon and possibly Wolf Garin and possibly others that are able to join in for a return to WoW.
About darn time, right?
Yes, grab your noggin fogger and your favorite mount, heyo, and join us for World of Warcraft on Thursday night. On Friday we go back to Neverland. We finally have the whole crew back together again, I think.
The gang's all
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since we had the whole group all together and hanging out. So yeah, tune in to that on Friday. It's going to be a fun episode as we start getting closer and closer into Spooktober. Sunday is episode 2 of Pen and Paper. This is our campaign where we go like kind of techno free. I will be playing a Warforged looking for his soul, and it is a character that I'm very excited to play. So tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sunday, I believe at 5 o'clock, go until 9. You can hang out with us and kind of relax from your day.
There's a mosquito. It has bit me on each shoulder.
Weird.
Monday
Mosquito
night,
and
I'm
sore
surprising Indigo Chameleon with this because I didn't clear this with her first. I missed some of those players that only get to play via Talking Heads. So Monday night we're doing a Talking Heads game. So we've got a few spots available. I will release a recruitment after this show. But if you have a character that you've been looking to do, this one's going to be a very specialized one shot. It's not in Never. and it's not in Wonder. It's play testing an area
Nice.
that I have had in the back of my head for a while. So yeah, Trinket allowing, yes. Please give Trinket our love and bribes. That is happening on Monday, which brings us right back around to Tuesday. I think that's it. No, that's not it. Our sponsored artist for the month of October is T.E. Graves. T.E. Graves has been a friend of the channel for quite some time. She is an amazing artist. We are actually posting a post to her Instagram right now. You can see some of the amazing work that she has done. And so I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you go check it out. We here at Indigo Chameleon want to support local artists. We're all artists, and we all want to support and connect with others. So every month we're going to choose an artist, be that somewhat related to artistry in D&D, or a dice artist, or something along those lines, and we will have a sponsored artist every month, because I think I would rather do that than have a sort of larger company at the moment. So yeah, that's our sponsored artist, T.E. Graves. We love her, go support her. So now that's it for announcements. Once upon a time in Wonder. The crew went through some changes last week. They were just coming off of the fire display put on by Thoe and by Enwin, and we're sort of reeling from that. We had Tweedleday, who was rekindling a relationship with Princess and finding peace amongst the chaos, amidst the chaos there. It came to a head where the group was sort of talking and trying to figure out where their next move is going to be. There was a brief altercation between the Caterpillar and Flint, as it seems the Caterpillar was shielded from knowing that Flint was a Fire Genasi, and had been shielded this entire time. It's hard to know the specifics of it, but it seems that Cheshire had a hand in this shielding, wanting the Caterpillar to get to know Flint and judge him on who he is, not what he is. So after this altercation, the group decided to do the smartest thing and split the party. A couple members of the group, Flint, Mandrake, and Thoe, decided to visit Nyx's old stomping grounds, where there was a library where they could find information about some things that were sort of pressing onto them. And Enwin, Tweedleday, Grim, all went to see Dimitri, along with Nyx. And there was a bargain made to clear Mandrake's debt on behalf of Grim, who just sort of open-ended said, yeah, sure, whatever you want, and agreed to take care of Mandrake's debt. Enwin offered Dimitri his first fear or his first happy, depending on which one he wanted. The decision was somewhat made for him when Tweedleday took the first happy on her way out the door. So now Dimitri owns Enwin's first and foremost fear, fire. We don't know what that means. They were granted a tool, a pouch of sand that allowed the user to go 30 seconds into the past to fix a major mistake, and more information was revealed about the seed. All of this information can be found on past episodes that we put on demand, but that was just a simple breakdown. All of that being said, we're going to go straight to the library, where currently Mandrake and Thoisar have disguised themselves as birds, and Mandrake has had the sudden realization that he has about 30 seconds of actual in-game time before this manifestation within the hat wears off, and he is a human on a balcony.
All right, so these people are kind of sitting in a circle, right? Ish?
No, this is a comfy room. Yes, the chairs are somewhat in a circle, but some are scattered about a space. Think more of a coffee shop, where
Okay.
there's a warm fire, there's plenty of books and side tables.
I'm going to fly to an area where I'm kind of in the middle of the room where they can all look at me, but where ideally I'm diverting as much attention from Mandrake as possible.
Okay, I'd say that's not
Okay.
too incredibly difficult.
Okay, so
You're trying to divert everyone's attention as
yes.
a bird?
Well, nope, because I'm gonna fly down and I'm going to come out of wild shape in a very conspicuous place.
You're just gonna be like, hey, what's up?
Kind of.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You fly over to a small area. You
But before doing this, I kind of nod to him like with my little bird head.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different faces and people and beings of different walks of life that are sitting about, and some of them have more books than most do. You see a Warforged in the corner. You see a small child, which is a little discerning, off in one sort of side corner of the library, whose eyes seem to alight. And as the bird flies over, one individual in particular tracks you with her eyes. It's somebody sitting at a desk next to the fire. It seems like a premium spot, but her eyes seem to follow you as you go and alight onto you.
Okay, I'm gonna come out of wild shape in the most inconspicuous, like, hey guys, like hands up sort of way I possibly can.
Sure.
And say, hi, I didn't mean to disturb you. I mean, it's, I just, it was the restricted section. I know I shouldn't have come in.
Give me a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage, please.
Okay, that is, 11, okay, it's not terrible. It's, 11 plus, oh, that's an 18.
A 19.
18.
An 18. One of the spells does not take hold. As the small child in the corner of the room turns from what they don't even turn from what they're doing. They just sort of flick their hand absent-mindedly in your direction and continue reading. That spell does not track. The blonde-haired woman sitting at the table gets up and sort of sees you and sees you're talking and concentrates her attention in your direction, and the hold person spell takes
Okay, so I'm
into
stuck.
effect.
Okay, but I can talk?
You are held in place
I can't
for
remember.
a
the
period of
person.
time. She will put a hand up as if to silence you,
Okay.
to grant you a measure of peace. She will turn about and look about the room, and you'll notice that a lot of these individuals that are around the room are a little flustered. Some of them are looking like they're trying to bolt out of the room. She turns and looks and says, anyone that would like to leave is more than welcome to. I know that some of you are uncomfortable. And 4 or 5 individuals get up from their seats, gather their books, and make their way out of the door. She will turn back to you as the spell drops.
All right, listen, I grew up in libraries, and it was a restricted section, and you can't say that if you haven't grown up in libraries that you aren't tempted to go into the restricted section too, and I just wanted to come in to see, and I didn't expect a whole bunch of people to be here, and I haven't taken anything, and I don't plan to take anything. It was the restricted section.
Persuasion check.
I'm so good at persuasion too. That is a 13 plus 0.
Ooh.
What is your name, dear?
Thoisar.
Hi, Thoisar.
I kind of grew up in the library of the Red Keep, and Alexander Grimwald, he's in charge of it, and he knows who I am, and I don't know, like, if you could talk to him, he knows who I am. Oh, and Felrin Marin, he spent a lot of time there too. I broke into their restricted section too, but they all admitted that they had done it too.
If I got in trouble for every restricted section I broke into, I too would be in a bad spot.
Your restricted section has a lot more people than ours did.
You have no idea. Anyone else with you?
I don't think so anymore. There were other people with me out in the library.
Deception check.
I'm really good at that too. That was a net 20 though.
She will look in your direction, and then she will just do a casual scan of the library. Very well.
Feel free to escort me out.
No, I don't think that will be necessary. Why are you here, Thoisar, from the Red Keep?
Well, I'm not really from the Red Keep. I mean, I spent a lot of time in the library, but that's not like where I live or anything. I was just looking for information, and actually all the
Chloe-
information I needed
Chloe
was out.
Sarr, I deal with awkward people on a daily basis, and even I'm losing my patience. So why don't you cut to the chase and let me know why you're here?
I wanted to find out about other people like me, Fire Genasi, because I mean you can probably tell, but you know,
You were unable to find this information in the main library?
not anything that seemed to help me much.
She will look about the library, and as she does, she will outstretch her hands as you see many of the books on the shelf start vibrating in place. As they begin to vibrate in place, her hands will begin to crawl upward as small letters and sentences begin to form at her fingertips, move up her arms, and they disappear under her dress as she begins to sort of dart her eyes back and forth from the library. As the words start flowing even faster, she stops and the words rush back outward, almost like a tide coming in and then a tide going back out. She'll flick a hand up and a book will come off the shelves. It looks small. It looks to be like a little yellow notebook. But she catches it in her hand and hands it towards you.
I can read this. I mean, it might take a while to read. I don't want to.
That's fine. That's fine. And I know the importance of always having friends in places, and I have fewer friends than I would like near the Red Keep. So take it if it can help you. Just please, please, no more breaking into the restricted section.
I promise I'll return it.
Yes, please. That would be amazing.
What is your name?
Kessel.
Kessel?
Yes.
It's nice to meet you, Kessel.
It is very nice to meet you, Thoisar. Please get the hell out.
Okay.
She will outstretch a hand, and as she does, the two doors leading out of the restricted section will open. And she will look at you. As she looks at you, a platoon of guards will start walking towards the opening of the library, especially the restricted section, and she will wave a hand dismissively in their direction, and they will nod their head respectfully and make their way out of the library. She takes a book from the stacks, places it on the desk of the small child. The small child will sigh and pick up that book as well and begin to read through it.
Okay, I'm already out, right? Okay.
I would have begrudgingly flown out in the rush of people leaving previously.
Give me a stealth check at advantage. I will say that there were a lot of people sort of making their way out of the library at this point while she was having this conversation.
That was an 18 on the die. So 22.
Yes, it's very easy to sort of shift and make your way out during this mass exodus out of the room. So, as you make your way out, Thoisar, as you make your way to the doors, you sort of turn back and sort of one last look, and Kessel is standing there and turns back and slams the doors closed.
All right. I think we should find Flint and go.
I would
Like
agree. I wish you
Two hands on the back of your neck, and you are dragged off towards the summoning circles as Flint goes, "Hi, so that would have been a great heads up. I saw guards coming in, and I'm pretty sure there's a little puddle of pee right by the reference desk. So next time, just a heads up, a message, maybe a written note, something along those lines."
I got a book, but they gave it to me. I didn't steal it.
From there?
Yeah, they didn't steal it. I didn't steal it. They gave it to me. Let's go.
From who?
A friend.
Okay.
Also, in all fairness, I'm here and it said restricted. Did you really think I wasn't gonna go in there?
That's on me. That's on me. I see it now. It's like it's presented, and then oops a doodle. Like yes, let's go. And he will very quickly lead you both to the summoning circle that leads. He will lead you outside of the library and go about casting, and then bring you both back to the forest. You are arriving back at the forest just as the other group is arriving as well, with yellow notebook in hand. Group, you are free to share any or all information that you've learned, but I know this group well enough to know that I should specifically ask this. Is there anything you are withholding? Should I ask more, what is it you're sharing? I don't want to assume that everybody, just because you were in the same room, what are your characters sharing about the experience at Dimitri's?
Why are you looking at me like I need to tell Mandrake something?
No, this could be anyone.
Yeah, I figure at some point he'd probably want to talk to Mandrake and just.
Nick's just gonna be like, yep, telling everyone. Right here.
It's
Nyx does one of those, like, crosses his arms and just sort of like flops down, and Flint goes, I've seen this look, and just sort of like stands behind him to support, but not knowing what he's supporting.
you're dead with Dimitri's man. Hey,
Made a lot of gold over the last year?
something like that.
No.
No, I didn't make a lot of gold.
What did you do?
He made a deal.
Yes, it was a deal to remove your debt.
In exchange for?
So, a very small, simple little favor.
So it's bad.
To Dimitri, it's awful.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, I
What?
can't really say much.
I mean, it was in your interest that you gave your arm for the group, and I wanted to give this to you for taking a bigger sacrifice. So,
It
just a
is-
thank you, I guess.
It is appreciated. You didn't have to do that.
No, no, but it was one of those in-the-moment kind of deals. And as you've done much for me over the course of our friendship, I felt it was necessary.
Well, thank you. Anything else?
Yes. And she'll pull out the spider and hand it over to Enwin.
Ah,
You did.
I probably shouldn't have done that. I realize it's bad. But you look so happy. I'll deal with that later.
Really?
You remember the gift. The concept of friendship is still there. All of it. And everything that that represents. But it needs to be established that the choice was made.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Alright.
Mandrake is just gonna like, I am so proud.
Well, you know, things happen and people want things, and you know, sometimes you happen to be lucky for a second.
You stole it from Dimitri.
I
lucky for a second.
grabbed it and found it quite interesting, and I thought that a friend would enjoy it more than he would. So, yes, I stole it. Moving on, in addition to that, I do have something now that would allow us some extra time. It's not a lot of time, it's about 30 seconds. This is in the instance of something even more important than the bag of time. We have 24 hours to plant a tree. Just putting that out there. 24. That's it. That's all we've got. At this time, we're about 23.
There's a lot to talk about it.
Well, why 24 hours?
Because
That's the better part.
there's... We found out what's in it. It's the Red Queen's mother,
The Red Queen's, like, direct mother?
as I understand it. Which, to be very clear, I don't. I was a little distracted when they said, oh, by the way, your people are being
Like, the,
something.
The queen?
The
Like,
queen.
The queen,
Right.
the queen.
So here's how we understand it. And to be again, we don't, but what we got is the king had a mother who had a mother who had a mother. That's great.
I found out about this.
Oh, excellent. And then somewhere along the lines, like, he got married to a woman and she had a mother. Sounds fair
Most
and all
people do.
fair. Exactly. Most people, some don't. That's law to get rid of later. But some people plant those people in trees and want them to live forever. So that's who's in there.
I was reading a book about it, and the queen had a daughter, and then she had a daughter, and then she had a son, and that son is the king. But
Which king?
Harold, the one who was asleep. But it also inferred that he may be a little related to the king.
Is this the first time I'm hearing this? Did you share this with me earlier?
I would have shared it with you, anything, because we were researching together.
Okay.
So it inferred that perhaps the Hatter and
The queen?
got along quite well.
Ah.
I'm gonna pull out my notebook, my great grandfather's journal,
Yep.
and try to look for any reference to Alice.
Nope.
It's nothing? Or it just doesn't work?
I'm sorry, it's which Alice? I should specify.
Because there's Alice the Queen, and then
Right.
there's Alice. There's Alice Elizabeth Kingston, who was the queen.
Okay, then I would
Unless I misread.
I would look for
Alice.
any reference to Alice's and
There-
relationship with an Alice.
There is a
Lot.
lot.
Okay.
You essentially read through all of Lewis Carroll's
Okay.
like telling of the adventures in Wonderland and the adventures with Alice. Any mention of a relationship after the Looking Glass,
Mm-hmm.
there is none.
Nothing.
There is no reference to like Alice and I went to dinner and we had breakfast and we hung out and then we made babies. Like there's nothing
Got it.
nothing past the word for word telling of Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Okay.
But I guess the most important thing to take from that is that the queen that we think of as the Red Queen is not actually the direct descendant of the queen. You know?
Is this information that Day would already, like, sorta have?
Oh no.
Oh.
The dark family secrets, like this is stuff Princess doesn't have.
Okay.
Like that the like if she did, you just don't talk about it if you want to keep your head. Like nobody's gonna drop at the dinner table like, hey, you guys want eggs? Did you guys hear the Madigans like in the Queen? Like, so you might have picked it up some of it. Give me a history check.
Mhm. Not very good with history. 8.
Yeah. No, so this is all you're filing this away.
So it's royalty, kind of royalty adjacent.
We don't know that.
Adjacent.
Well,
Adjacent, we'll go with
I
that.
mean,
Perfect.
anyone would be. So, if the Queen's mother isn't bloodline descendant, then who is she?
The Queen's Nose and Blood Representative.
I need a wisdom saving throw, please.
16.
Cool.
Oh boy.
Nope, don't like that. Is there anything else?
That was my focus, was figuring those things out. So,
So the seed's infected.
Essentially.
It's something.
There's no way to remove the
There's
Queen's mother
there's
before
always a way.
planting,
There's always a way to do something to deal with it.
but we've got a day.
We do.
Why does it have to be planted within 24 hours?
It's
Because the time you spent with it, you were absorbing part of it. Sort of its essence. The seed is dying. When you erupted in green flames, that was a manifestation of part of its power.
Give me an investigation check.
Me?
Yep.
18 plus something good.
Yeah, there's a couple of people that mistook the little embers on him as the manifestation of you being connected, and I don't remember who did, but as he says this, the seed is dying, you come a little closer in the light of, as the light is fading outside, and Enwin's not looking great. Like, he still looks healthy and green at the moment, but like as he talks and gesticulates, you notice just a couple leaves fall. Like, just a couple. Anybody that's paying attention to this conversation, if you want to make the same investigation check to see if you can spot this as well.
That's all I need.
Nix, you notice it.
Just that there.
I'm even good if you have a super high passive perception.
Passive perception's gonna be a 21.
Yes, you notice.
I have an 18 passive perception.
Yes, you notice. You're a little distracted.
Yeah.
That's right. Cool.
Then why not now? I mean, I didn't, how could,
No, it's fine. You didn't know. When no one knew. I forgot.
Forgot
I
what?
forget everything. All I do is give pieces of myself away. My name, my fear, at some point, of friendship. I can't lead like that.
you forgot what, how did I,
I forget everything every time I die, and I come back. But I can't keep forgetting.
is she remembering things?
No. And he pulls out the seed, and he kneels down.
Charlotte cocks her head to the side.
But it's time for me to remember, and I'm so sorry.
Kiddo,
You have to
what are you
forgive
doing
me.
here?
You have to forgive me, Thoy. And he rams it into his chest.
Okay. Okay. Enwin's gathered around this fire with all of you and takes the seed, and there's a moment where his eyes dart to the earth and you see the druid still working on clearing the spot, and Enwin looks at Thoe and says, "I'm so sorry," and takes the seed and shoves it into his chest. There's a moment where Enwin is standing there and it looks as if nothing has happened, and then his head shoots backwards, his mouth opens, his eyes open, and pouring out of every sort of pore in his body is that gold pollen that you've seen escape through the seed a few times. It almost looks like a Doctor Who regeneration, okay? He's floating in the air now as this pollen is being poured out of him at all angles. As that happens, Anansi, the spider, Charlotte, is gone. Like in a pop and almost like a little like scream, Charlotte is gone. As this pollen just begins to swirl around Enwin. It's collecting around him, it's not leaving his immediate vicinity, and it forms this circle of him floating in the air and this golden pollen almost illuminating the night sky. As that happens, it forms a complete circle around him, and then just as quickly as it appeared, streaming out of every pore of Enwin's being, Enwin comes down and stands up. Enwin, for the time being, you are devoid of power. You have your faculties, your stats are your own, but you have severed a connection to Anansi because you have reabsorbed what the seed is with a little something extra. As your eyes begin to dart about the space and look at everyone, your brain gets an onslaught. You are a tiny cup of water trying to catch a waterfall. It's too much. It's multiple lifetimes. And it comes fast. I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw first.
That's an 8.
Okay? Edwin will grab his head, grit his teeth, and as he does, his head will look over, up, relaxed. Make eye contact with the space. Look at Day. Look at Nyx. Head back again. And he passes out.
Agree with the number two.
Run over to him.
Yeah.
And
I
when,
feel,
and when he hits the ground, he is green. That hint of sickness is gone. There are no embers, nothing. Thoe's green glow is gone. There is no sort of green fire connected with her. It is just the red sort of soft flames in the twilight of the night sky.
instead of casting healing, I'm gonna cast plant growth on him. I'm putting my hand on his chest,
Okay.
and I'm gonna see what have he done in.
What is the level spell for plant growth?
It is a 3rd level spell.
Okay, that is immediately counterspelled.
Okay. I'm gonna try to wake him up.
Okay.
Lesser Restoration.
Okay.
It's a level 2.
Okay. Would you like to cast it at a higher level?
Yes, because I just tried a level 3 and it didn't work.
Okay.
So I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration at. It doesn't give me the option of being able to cast it at a higher level, but I should be able to. At 5th level.
Mandrake, before you do that, Mandrake's gonna try to. That last moment, that didn't look like Enwin.
I know, but we need to talk to him. We need to find out. There's 4 of us, and there's 1 of him, and we need to find out what's going on. We're not going to just let him lie there.
And if that is the original Red Queen in there.
I don't care. We're not letting him lie there. You can go away if you want to. I'm not going to let him lie there.
I'm not saying we don't wake him up. I'm saying we take precautions before we wake
Fine,
him up.
take whatever precautions you want.
Grim.
He's breathing, right? Like he's breathing and he's
Edwin doesn't breathe. The
Like,
medicine
that's
checks
fair.
necessary for him. There's color in his face. His eyes are doing the REM cycle thing as they begin to dart back and forth under the lids. He looks like he's resting, for those of you that have seen him rest. It doesn't look like he's in any amount of pain other than the eyes darting back and forth.
Are the surrounding druids doing anything? Did anyone see this other than us?
Here's the deal. You guys have kind of come into camp and set up your own little thing. Like,
Gotcha.
after the outburst with the fire, and you guys not doing anything, like, they're
Yeah.
kind of giving you space.
Gotcha.
I mean, there's a bunch of them that are looking over, because there's a sense of, like, what were we doing here? Even some of the guards that are around the area, like some of the guards from Dinah, are sort of looking about the space, and there's quiet whispers going on. Princess is not around. But Edwin is still laying on the ground.
So it didn't do anything?
You're casting Lesser Restoration. Okay.
No, Mandrake's right.
Hey, Edwin, do you want to wake up?
No.
The magic flows outward from Thoe. It seems to travel up and around his skin, and as it does, some of the flowers that have never been on Enwin's skin before begin to bloom outward and absorb the spell into them, and then retract back into his body.
Grim's gonna go over with his hand on Thoe's shoulder. It's gonna be fine.
You don't know that.
And you don't know that he's not.
Anwin doesn't act rashly, generally. No. He's pretty calculated. He did this for a reason.
Okay. It's evening, right?
Mm.
Fine.
What the hell just happened?
It's a very good question. I need all of you to leave the room, please.
What's up? How we doing?
It hurts. It hurts a lot. That seed coming back into your being, I equate it to a machine functioning, but functioning at a deficit for years. And adding this part back into you makes it function higher and faster, and it's too much for you to handle. This flood of memories, you're able to catch small snippets that come in and out of consciousness. You see the very first tree, the mother tree, and you see the rest of the 9 growing out, and you see this society that begins to branch outward. You see each of them making the active choice to sacrifice who they are and a part of what they are in order to create life. Each one of them made this conscious decision at different times, and you remember making this decision to branch outward, to grow. You also remember the fear. The Fae are tricky individuals to deal with. And it's not because they're malicious. I think it's the opposite of that. I think they see things for what they are. They see the power in a name. A name is who you are. A name encompasses everything that you bring to the table. When you ask for somebody's name, you are taking a small part of them and placing it inside of yourself, almost as a safekeeping. This is who you are in this moment in time. Everything, good and bad. Enwin's gone through a bit of a change. Meeting this group of people, partnering with Anansi. And this connection is cut, but Enwin, you remember. You remember the choices that you had to make. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and you remember all of it. You remember fighting with the rest of the 9, saying that your people will be run through and over. Yes, we are artisans, but the world is changing around us. This power that we have to come back from death, you see the potential that others may choose to use it. You also see the end. You see what the world could become should some of the Fire Genasi take their foothold in the world as they are prophesied to take. You lead a group to make sure that that could never happen. You are not evil in this. This is just what needs to be done. You keep them away from the trees. You keep them away from setting the world aflame. There's a whisper. It's the one thing about you that doesn't feel whole. This whisper in the back of your head telling you that everything you're feeling is perfectly natural and fine, and this feminine, motherly voice just comforting you, telling you that everything is going to be okay, that you made the choice. And most people can't do that. But you did. You made the choice. You are still Enwin. Your alliances with this group of people has not tarnished in any way. I would never do that to you for making this choice. However, you have taken upon yourself a great power. You have done things, Enwin. You have done many things, and in your mind you did those things to protect your people, and to protect your heritage, and to protect the world at large that some would view as wrong. Right now you hear the faint whisperings in your ear of what some of these are, but it's hard to locate them. It's if they were bits of flotsam and jetsam in the stream of your life, floating by, and you're on the shore trying to reach out and grab them and push them to you. You may awaken at any time. You do not need to rest. You do not need sunlight. You are not able to eat or drink as you were before for simple pleasures. That is beyond you. That is past you. You may take people's names. They do not have to give them. They will make a wisdom saving throw. And you may take the name forcefully. They will take psychic damage upon doing this. If you force it and they fail to save, they will take 2d6 psychic damage and they will not remember. If they make the save, they do not take the damage. You still take the name, but they know exactly what you did. You and I will have to work outside of figuring out how you find your footing in this world, because Anansi is not there. There isn't room. There's too much coming from you. There's too much. The threads that connected you to him, for lack of a better word, are severed completely and totally. Okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Not yet. I'm sure I will.
I'm sure you will as well. We'll figure it out together, okay?
Sounds good.
Alright, I want you to get the rest of the group. Hi, people. Thanks so much for tuning in and hanging out with us while all of this happened. Bringing the rest of the group in right now. At any time that you so choose, you are ready to go. All right. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate your patience.
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine, everything's fine.
How you doing?
Not as good as I'd hoped, but not bad.
He's got this
How
brand
you
new
doing?
character, it's great.
Not as good as I
Anyway,
had
here are all
hoped.
these stats.
We're not bad? That's good, me too.
Okay. Edwin is passed out. Still on the ground. Like I said, his eyes are still moving back and forth.
Should have taken like
I just
Sure,
see
whatever, it's
something
my
that
duffel
Zoe
bag.
posted in
Just
the
put 'em in
chat,
his
and
hand.
I'm like,
Yeah, that's fine.
try to make him comfortable. At
Yeah.
least.
You take a shirt, you take some bedding, and you set it up.
Bedroll, yeah.
Taking your lead on this, some of the druids who don't ask questions are just sort of coming over. Brianna is looking concerned and will sort of speak up and be like, "Are we still planting the seed?"
Is that a
There's-
burial joke?
No. There's no
We
more.
were tasked with planting this seed. We've
I
been in a
don't
very
know.
good spot.
I don't know. We will tell you. Just let us figure things out.
come
Yeah.
now, sweetie, everything is okay. They're a little on edge. I'll explain later.
I kill people. You don't have to talk
That's
down
okay.
to
There
me.
is no seed to plant.
There's that too.
We will figure it out.
Brianna nods her head and sort of backs away with her arms up and goes and spreads the word throughout the camp.
I know now is probably not the best time, Zoe, but remember what Flint said about high emotions.
Yeah, you're right. Now is not the best time.
Just saying.
Mandrake is going to. Is his kit nearby?
I think it's in your. I think you guys have all established a little. Like I said, this is not posh accommodations,
Right.
kids. You are roughing it. You are outside in the rough and tumble, like sleeping inside the huts that have been constructed by some of the remnants of the town.
Okay.
But yeah, your kit is
Yeah.
close by to wherever you're staying.
I would go down to the kit and ask Bartholomew. Do you know if?
You're going to say good evening or just how are you? How's the skull?
Hello, Bartholomew.
I shuffled some of the potions around.
It looks
The
nice.
feng shui is way better.
Anwen's
The
hurt.
blue ones are with the red ones. We used to.
Anwen is hurt.
How hurt?
We're not sure.
You tried putting water on them.
I'm not sure if you're joking.
It's how I handle stress.
Do you know of anything in particular that could help one of his kind?
Can you bring me to him?
I'll grab Bartholomew and walk up.
Sure. You leave the space, and Bartholomew is sort of out and about. It's the first time you guys have seen Mandrake carry the skull out. You bring Bartholomew over to where Enwin is, and you see the purple mist that surrounds the skull sort of leave and float over Enwin's body for a bit, and then it floats back into the skull. I think you are mistaken, he is not hurt. He's fine. He's better than fine.
And
He's miracle grown.
are you still standing nearby?
Yes.
Okay. Bartholomew may be an asshole, but he's never sent me in the wrong direction before.
This was written on my tombstone.
Not to
You
be.
have no idea what you're talking about.
You're right, I
He
don't.
might be perfectly fine, and it might be, just all of his people who are dead. We don't know what's going on.
Any information is
Wisdom
helpful.
save. Thank you.
22.
Not to be sliding in here randomly with questions and concerns. There's a giant floating skull in your hand.
Have you not met him?
No.
Cool, he has one. At least we know we don't have to heal him.
There's a giant floating skull where?
Oh, I like him.
Is the spider near your body, or did like the
Spider's
little,
gone.
No, so like the
Gone.
little toy spider that we got you.
It's probably on me somewhere.
I'm just put it, just put it on your chest. Just kind of sit there with you and just.
Okay, guys.
Nope. The hand.
What?
No. No, the Edmund's hand. Up. Flick. That toy spider goes flying.
Try it again, or to go too far away to actually
No, you can
to retrieve it.
very easily go
Yeah,
get it.
I'm gonna just try it again. That was odd.
Is that like a flame?
Yep. Toy ignites.
Oh, that's
You got a
great.
little like tiny flaming fireball.
Okay.
Don't put things on it.
So he's physically fine.
No, he's not just physically fine. He's mentally fine. He's magically fine. He's spiritually fine. He is so fine. He's making me ask serious questions about my predilections in this world. He is operating at such peak capacity that I'm surprised you all are not blinded. Do any of you have detect magic?
Give me 10 minutes. I can take 10 minutes if it's important.
Well, I mean, you don't have to. He's lighting up like a Christmas tree.
So he can hear us?
I don't know. I
Well,
mean,
he's
yeah.
aware of his surroundings if he's throwing possessions off of him.
This is very good logic. Yes, you can probably hear you.
So he's just ignoring us.
I'm just
Lie
gonna
there
sit
still if
down.
you can hear us. Yes, he can hear you.
She's just gonna sit down next to him and just watch. And
Okay.
Should someone slap him or wake him up that way?
Oh, I'm really close. Don't worry.
And there goes the slap. Here we go.
I thought that was such a good joke.
Thank you. It was.
I thought
I
I was so
appreciate
proud
it
of
so
myself.
much.
I'm gonna go for a slap. Come on, buddy. Come on.
You're gonna slap him?
Yeah.
Oh no.
here we go.
Because it works so well. Last time we did something
Listen, I
to it.
Last
I-
time we hit the
Mandrake's
plant,
gonna-
he was
Mandrake's
angry.
hat.
Mandrake's gonna step back, taking Bartholomew with him.
It's gonna be like, hey,
Sure. On the first slap, it's fine. Even the second slap, it's fine. The third slap, he grows these spines out of his face. It's almost like a rose bush.
nice.
So you can slap again, but there's this odd liquid that seems to be dripping out of these thorns that have appeared in the spot that you've been slapping over and over again.
Is it one of those things where as I'm going for the backhand, Harvey's little astro hand goes like this? He's like, wait a minute, buddy.
No, I feel like there's a...
It'd be a fall through.
Yeah, no, it's up to you. Harvey would be like, spiky, spiky, spiky. On the hand, please. Let's not.
Yeah.
I've grown accustomed to your face. So,
Thanks, buddy.
I'm gonna grab his hand. Not
Okay.
aggressively. Just hold his hand and see what he does.
Mandrake, you want some of that?
I
Whatever.
absolutely do.
hand is, yeah. he's warm to the touch. As long as you've known Enwin, he's never been. I mean, plants are not inherently warm. Maybe when he was sunbathing, even when he was sunbathing, the plant wasn't inherently hot. But the whatever the greenery is, it's warmer. He's filling out in the chest a little bit. You would notice this too. Like he's not wearing a shirt. He doesn't normally wear a shirt, but you're seeing the chest just sort of fill out. The skinnier side of him is just sort of. Even his arms seem to be like they're growing, being connected to the earth like this, laying on his back.
Mandrake would take a vial and get some of the stuff that's dripping off of the.
I'm gonna smack him. You're getting stuff off Edwin?
Anything Bartholomew can examine
No.
could be useful.
Do not take parts of Enwin.
I'm pretty sure that's not part of him. It's like spit.
It's dripping off of him, right?
It's dripping off. The
Leave it
thorns are
alone.
growing in his face.
oozing.
But I love this imagery of Mandrake just being like, I'm just gonna put
Just.
Do you stop?
It's dripping onto the ground.
No, it's
Let
not.
it drip.
No.
No?
I think
Okay.
the condensation. Think like dew, like a
Fine. All I'm saying is anything Bartholomew could help us with might give us more information about what is happening.
Great. Bartholomew can look at him. Did Bartholomew ask you to start collecting samples off of him?
Bartholomew is here, but this is, I feel like, I'll
Maybe we should ask the caterpillar, since this seems like a transformation of sorts.
Maybe we should wait for Enwin to wake up and then ask Enwin before we start collecting samples of him.
I'm just saying, if we want to figure out what's going on, caterpillar might
Yes,
have an
maybe
idea.
we should talk to the caterpillar.
You've been shooting down our
Alright,
ideas.
you stay here with him, I'll go find him. And I go searching for the caterpillar.
He's not far, but he's in one of his series of rest.
Okay.
He's taking those more and more as the days go on.
Well, are there any people around that, like, followers of the caterpillar that I could ask questions of?
No. After Thoe's blow up, all of the druids, as you begin to walk close, all of them start taking steps back. People are giving away wide berth. If they yelled at the little girl, they're gonna yell at the adults even harder. So yeah, no. You're walking towards them, and they're just kind of going. Boop, boop, boop. Flint is standing next to where Enwin is, and he's sort of looking down and trying to figure out what's going on.
Good.
Given what we know, Day is going to cast at 5th level Dispel Magic.
Okay.
So
I need you to roll a d20, please.
Even if it's a save? I think.
Dispel magic?
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, let me read. The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level, so 15.
Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For each spell of the 4th level or higher, you gotta make an ability check using your spellcasting modifier.
Got it.
The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
Got it. It's 15.
What magical effect are you trying to end?
Anything that's charming Enwin, keeping him away from us.
There is nothing keeping Enwin away from you. As you reach out and you feel that magic take hold, you know definitively that there is nothing stopping. There's a tiny bit of pushback as that spell begins to creep and crawl all over his body and look for any sort of purchase, but when it does, there is nothing holding Enwin from communicating with you at the moment. There is nothing charming him.
She's just going to really quietly to him just be like, Enwin, come back to us, please.
Though
Please.
I don't know if this would help, but can you still create sunlight?
I can.
It's the best idea I have.
I cast sunlight.
A beam of sunlight appears in the area. It envelops Enwin, and I believe it envelops.
It's a 60-foot sphere.
Is this daylight? Or
It's daylight, sorry,
sunlight?
it's daylight.
Okay.
It's daylight and it's a 60-foot sphere from a point you choose. So I'm right next to him, so it's going to be right above
Okay.
where we are.
Yep, the area is filled with daylight. All of the druids, everyone turns and looks in this direction. And just stares as Thoe's spell kicks off and that beam of daylight begins to shine down on Enwin.
Would somebody please turn off the fucking lights?
He said that? You
Yes.
said that?
I should have put my hand over his eyes.
Don't touch him, please.
It's fine.
Enwin, what have you done?
I made a choice.
Yeah, you made a choice. What have you done?
I stopped the queen from being immortal. I saved my people.
Did you?
I did.
Did Thoe hear all the stuff about taking power on him instead of that he had the choice? I don't remember if I heard that or if Thoe heard that. Okay, I'm gonna assume she didn't, I guess. There's no seed to be planted.
You're right. There's no seed,
There's no people.
and there's no queen coming back.
But does that
There's
mean?
no queen to wreak havoc again, and there's no queen to take advantage of my people.
But that means the queen's inside of you
And that's fine. Better just me.
and all of your people.
Maybe.
So what happens now?
Who knows?
We said we'd plant the seed.
We did.
This is different.
It is.
Can you feel her?
I don't know. I know something's not right. I know Charlotte's gone. I know Nancy's gone.
If we planted the seed, we'd have someone to fight.
You're right. And she'd have people to fight with her.
Wisdom save at disadvantage.
7. 13.
Thoe echoey, flares a little bit. If the tree had been planted, we'd have somebody to fight. And everybody takes just a quick back step. You don't see any of this.
So, to the best of your knowledge, are your people inside of you?
It's a lot to take in. There's so many memories inside my head now. It hurts. And I can't make sense of all of it at once, but
Do you remember everything? You remember you before?
some of me, not all of me. I've been around a while, I think.
You remember for her?
No. Just me.
Did it hurt?
God, yes. I can't say I've ever felt anything like that ever. I'd like to not do it again. But hey, there's no more seed, right? So I don't have to.
Do you remember looking at us right after it happened?
No.
She was there. It wasn't you for a minute, it was her.
Well, it's me now.
Did you ever think of asking them?
No. Odd, isn't it? I fought so hard for them, so they'd have their own choices, and then I made it for them.
Mandrake, wisdom saving throw. Actually, let's go around the horn. Everybody.
16?
16.
Me too.
Nope. Just these three.
It's not a charm, right?
No.
17.
17.
17.
13.
Okay.
I've probably rejoined it by now. Seen the light.
Yeah. It gets late. You don't feel the need to rest, but everyone else is starting to feel a little beaten and worn down throughout the day. You guys are welcome to stay up and talk. As Miss Audie said, everything is fine. But you do need to start thinking about rest and watches for the night, if any of you would like to join the watch, as you did previous nights.
I'm staying up.
Got it?
I'm also working on preparing different spells.
Understood. And I support this. You're going to spend some time sort of meditating with the earth. and
Meditating with the earth, I am not leaving Enwin.
You need to double check the reading on this and see if you need a long rest in
Oh,
order
to
to
prepare my new
shuffle those
spells.
songs.
Oh, that's right, I think
Because
I
you're
do.
sort of attuning to the earth and changing
Okay.
how you interpret that energy.
Got it.
So you may need to choose one or the other.
Okay.
here. Are you taking?
Yeah, then I will not take the long rest, but I'm just gonna kinda look ahead of time as far as,
Sure.
or generally when we take a rest, we're doing 12 hours because people are taking different watches.
Correct.
If we are, I'm taking the first 4 to figure things
No
out.
one took the watch last time because
No?
you just sort
Okay,
of relied
so we've got
on.
8 ahead of us.
You've got 8 ahead of
Okay.
you. The only one who took a watch last time was Grim.
Oh,
Because he wanted to help out around the camp, but it is not necessary or requested. You could just trust that the druids and the gnomes, the cabbage gnomes.
Then I will focus on spells. I will take a long rest.
Okay.
I am curling up next to him with my sword in hand.
Got it.
I want to know if he moves. I want to know if anybody disturbs us. So my sword should let
Not
me know.
how the sword works. The sword
sword
would
says-
protect
no,
you.
no, the sword is startling. Like somebody, right?
If someone is planning to attack
Yeah.
you, so
No, I
that's an
understand
away
that.
But him,
But him moving, if my hand is on his chest, I know if he's moving around or if he's leaving.
sure.
Right?
Yes, Normally, when you're asleep,
that
I
be
give you
fair?
perception checks
Okay,
at disadvantage.
that's fair.
These will just be at regular,
Okay.
as Thoe lays next to you and just places a hand on your chest. Give me a medicine check, Thoe. As you tune into the
16. He's got a heartbeat. He never had one before.
resting.
If Edwin said he was fine, then I'm pretty sure I've taken a rest.
You're not doing the watch tonight? Cool.
Mandrake would. He would do a part of the watch.
Oh, do a part of it? Cool.
Yeah.
First, second, third.
Third.
Okay. That's actually perfect. Everybody else, mark down a long rest if you use any spell slots and things of that sort. Give me a perception check. Are you getting up in the night at all? And then are you just staying there and just sort of meditating on your current state and trying to function?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have.
Okay. Mandrake Madigan, you join a group of individuals that are sort of patrolling the camp and making their rounds about. Give me a perception check, please, as you begin to look about the camp and pay it special attention.
So, I saw a few things. No, 15.
15? I think that's enough. In Grimm's tent, at one point in the night, you just see a small bunny hop
Weird.
from outside of the tent, like close to the tent, like sniff the door frame a little bit, and like hop in the tent.
I would go investigate.
Sure, yeah. You go closer to where the tent is, and Grimm is passed out. He's even got one of those. Yeah, I think he sleeps like on his back, both feet up, like he's chasing stuff. And you see this little bunny just hopping through, and it begins to like dig through his pack. It spends a little bit of time like digging through the pack, and then comes out with like, you keep like food or rations in your pack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it comes out with some rations in its pack.
Some long bottom weed.
Yeah. It's just chewing on some of the little like dried bread and stuff like that in the pack. As you come in the tent, it sort of looks up at you. Like wrinkles his nose. Flattens down, gets ready to run.
Harvey. Is it?
Harvey will sit up. Like as he's asleep, Harvey just sort of says, "Yes, what? Well, yes, I'm so there's danger. Is there danger? It's a bunny.
I see that. It was digging through Grimm's pack?
Oh, and old bunnies know each other. Is that it?
No, but bunnies can
That's-
talk to other bunnies.
That's true. I'm really tired though. Hello, little one. Are you hungry? And this thing sort of looks up at Harvey and like, he's not saying much. I mean, not all bunnies are talkative.
Fine.
If you feel bad, pick him up and put him out. Or just let him eat the food, please.
I'll take some rations out of my bag. Like, put a line of them out the door.
Yeah.
That-
The bunny still sort of crouched down, and as you drop the food, it sort of jumps a little bit, and then begins to continue eating the thing it took out of Grimm's pack.
Okay. I'll just... Good night, Harvey. And then I'll go back out.
All right. The minute he leaves the tent, the rabbit will spit out the food and make its way over to where you are, Grimm.
This makes sense.
Wakey, wakey, eggs all snaky. I hear that you've been dropping my name as a follower. We should talk about that, right?
I'm still laying on my bag.
Yeah,
And this thing is like,
yeah. The bunny
Dad?
shifts out a little bit. Long black hair, white shirt, open, big black beard. As the Jabberwock sort of leans over you.
Love that.
Hey, puppy.
Puppy.
Yeah, you're a puppy. You're a little dog that piddles on the carpet and barks at things.
And
That's how I'm viewing you. And instead, you're going around saying you're representing me. You drop my name more than a horse drops loads of shit as it's walking through the city. So, I'm here for you to explain to me why you're telling people that you're a follower of mine.
Did we not have a connection? That's at some point.
Oh,
We
sweetie.
had a connection.
Do we have to break up? Did you feel a connection between you and I, and you just wanted to feel that connection even more?
You're the god of the hunt.
I am the god of the hunt.
And
And give me one damn reason I should take you and all the little goody frickin' two-shoes that you travel with under my watch, under my care.
You want a reason?
I'd love a reason.
Just one.
Yeah.
So he's gonna reach for the verbal sword, and just like shows like,
Yeah.
this is a good enough reason.
Yeah, about that. See, I'm stuck with you, right? Because of that thing. Yeah?
We're connected
We're connected. Because you have a sword that when you kill stuff, it summons me, right?
because I earned it.
Okay? Okay. When that thing comes out, if you just happen to summon enough blood to get me out, I'm gonna rip out your friends' throats. I'm gonna make you watch. I'm gonna start with the girl, because I know how much she means to you. And then I think I'm gonna work my way over to the guy with the hat, and I'm gonna make eye contact with you the entire time. I am not a puppy. I am not to be summoned. I was on a leash, and then some guy walked up to me that had me in a cage and opened the cage door and said, "Go play." So that's what I'm doing. Now, come up with a better reason.
Do I hear this?
You hear and Grim having a conversation. You're hearing little like animal noises
Okay.
coming from the tent, and Grim just like talking. But you don't know if he's talking to Harvey, which is not uncommon for him to
Yeah.
sit up and be arguing, or if he's talking to someone. You are welcome to get up if you so choose.
If it sounds like he's talking to Harvey, I'll just.
Yeah. Try again, puppy.
You know when you're giving yourself to someone, you're protecting those you care about. That puppy isn't just a small thing, something bigger. And so someone let you out of your cage, someone rattled it a little bit too hard. Is that what it is? You understand that if I use this, I let you out. I'm in control.
Your connection to Harvey is cut.
God damn it.
It is gone. Harvey is sort of like sits up in his sleep and sort of looks out towards you, and as it does, the Jabberwock waves a hand dismissively, and he looks at you and he says, "Here's the deal. Any puppy, when something comes to the door, reacts as any other puppy. No matter how well trained it is, it starts barking and slobbering, clawing at the door, biting, wanting to get out. That inner rage comes out, and that puppy goes from being trained to being a beast, and that's me. You don't understand. The red bitch, the guy with the hat, the green bug that I tried to squash several times, the cat in heat mean jack and shit to me. They will die, the world will burn, and I will still be here. As long as one living creature breathes on this earth, I will be here. Third and final time, puppy. Why do you want me in your corner?
Maybe I need your help. Maybe we need your help. Maybe I can't do this alone and I don't have the strength to take on what's coming.
That is a much better answer.
And maybe I've spilled blood in hopes that somewhere you would hear it and your fury or rage would be quenched.
This group that you follow with picks up gods like a prostitute picks up STDs. I am not one of those. I do not need you. I'm not looking for a foothold, kid.
But do you understand why it's taken me so long to even say your name out loud?
Yeah. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna prove it to me. Because words mean bullshit. I dropped your scent. A buddy of mine, he's gonna find you. Within the next 24 hours, probably. You're gonna kill him. And when you kill him, if you kill him, you will kill him with that sword. And you will say, I do this in the name of the Jabberwock.
And who is this person? And will I know him when I see him? Will I know him?
You'll know him, puppy. Let's see how big you can bark. If, and only if, you make it out of this situation okay, then we'll talk. We'll see about lengthening that leash of yours. And when you die, it'll be a glorious death, and we'll run through the fields together. Now, I'm gonna release your rabbit friend, because he's pissing so much that your ethereal soul is probably gonna smell like urine for a frickin' week. Get me, puppy?
I do this in the name of the Jabberwock.
And puppy, the bunny will shrink down and hop out of the tent.
Yep.
Leaving a shit trail. Okay, everyone takes a long rest for the evening. Like I said before, your watch goes uneventful, except for that small moment where the bunny jumped in the room. As the sun rises, you're feeling better. You have your wits about you. You're able to sort of stomach the sounds and the sights of the area, and you're actually feeling more than better. Like you're feeling good. You're feeling like more than 3 spell slots good. Like you're feeling real good. That's 1 day down on the counter. Day is yours. You have information. You can start looking around. Grim looks a little
Disheveled, probably.
disheveled, but
What's new?
I have not been drinking today.
So, good news, one less thing on our list to complete. And then he will slowly sip his tea.
embodying the Kermit meme. He was disheveled and he got rid of the seed, but that's none of my business.
Grim's gonna walk over to Anlin. Are you right today?
I'm fine.
Like fine as in like.
I'm fine as in like you slap me again and I'll slap you back this time.
Okay, because your eyes were closed. Just wanted to make sure you'd wake up.
I'm right there, right?
You're there and Thoe's there. She would not have left his side. I think the minute she stirred in the morning, there would be a like, her hand's still there and you sort of look and yeah, like, ow. Yeah, Thoe hasn't moved. You guys are all sort of enjoying a quiet breakfast. At some point while you are sort of up and after dealing with all of this stuff, Princess will come and drape a hand on your back. It's a really quick movement. It doesn't belay like a romantic touch, but just more of a I'm here as she sits beside you and sort of like looks around the group and like you get a message in your head like, what? Why is the tension so thick? Who slept with who?
Well, honey, we don't have nearly enough time with that. She planted his seed, slept with his seed, and then he and I, and that's too much, and just so much is happening. We've all been
Princess
in the
that grabs
same
her
time.
tea and also sits with her tea and just like looks about the space.
Long story short, we're all partners?
With we're all partners, there is a thundering sound at the edge of the camp.
Did anybody else hear that?
Yeah, it was the big thundering sound at the edge of the camp.
I think that it'd be hard not to hear that.
Grim's gonna grab a hold of his the hilt of the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to make sure somebody else heard it, and he's just gonna just look off to the direction of where that sound's coming from.
You're gonna run off to the thundering sound at the edge of the camp, aren't you?
No, just
Oh my God, that's probably the thing. That's the thing, right? That's the thing that we have to go down. And I want to stay here. Finish this tea. This tea is so good.
24 hours. Give me a break.
Could you?
You want to share with the rest of the group? 24 hours?
We're very time conscious here.
Tell us.
The Jabwa Cave.
That's where we're going to have that sound get even louder as some of the trees out on the outer perimeter fall down, as if they have been pushed to the side. All of the druids sort of scramble as they begin to sort of look. Some of them take to the air to see if it is the queen's people like coming forward. And as they do, some of them get close to the trees. Some of them you see grab armor. Also, some of the creatures of Dinah. As the creatures from Dinah, some of the Weretouch run forward to the trees. They stop. They turn around very calmly and go sit back down and keep eating breakfast, as if to ignore the sound. The druids also, who run forward, fly forward, stop, come back, and begin to quietly go about their day.
Is this sound, is it permitting any sort of like pheromone or smell or scent that I'm picking up on?
You're a little freaked out.
And that's it?
Yeah.
And it's still pretty far away?
Yeah.
I'm getting it up and I'm just gonna start walking towards it. Just
Okay.
hesitantly.
Grim gets up and leaves the table at breakfast time.
I'll
I'm
I'll
following.
follow him and just. Do you want to tell us what the Jabberwock said, or?
I'm casting Mage Armor.
Okay. Mage armor has been cast.
There's this thing, quickly, it has my scent, it's supposed to be coming after me, and what was said to be 24 hours, and if this is it, I need to kill it, or it's gonna kill me, or one of us needs to die, and...
Another bunch of trees, these closer this time, fall in the forest, hitting the ground so hard that there is a resonant there is a thud in the ground as a creature wanders into camp. It is sniffing the air. It looks like one of the largest bears or a bear-like creature that you have ever seen in your entire life. This bear, however, is missing patches of its skin. The bone is protruding from the skin. At places, you can see the muscle and the ligaments underneath, and half the face is just the skeletal form of the bear itself. As this bear wanders closer to where the camp is, once again, it goes over to a group of Weretouched that are sitting down and sniffs them. The Weretouched ignore the bear completely, having polite and happy conversation and like sort of talking and nodding, and the creature and like moves away from them. Suddenly its eyes lock on Grim, who is walking towards it, and it makes its way over to the central area where the ground was being prepared for the seed of the tree, which is now devoid of tree, but still circular prepared ground. It steps into this circle.
Do we see the werebear?
You do. All of you see this creature that looks like something out of nightmares walking forward towards you and letting loose a unholy growl.
Well, Harvey, let's do it.
Oh, go,
I'm gonna grab the hill. I'm gonna start making my way over there.
Roll initiative, buddy. As you run forward, if everybody else would like to roll initiative as well, if you would so choose. Grim has made it sound like this is something that he wants to do, but I know you all well enough, and I'm going to ask all of you that think you might participate at all to roll initiative. Okay, Grim, roll initiative for me. 11. The bear is going to go first.
Okay.
As you stride into this circle, go ahead.
You know what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab my
I was gonna
necklace.
say, like,
I would say everybody roll initiative,
Yeah, and
please.
I'll step back. But, okay.
Okay.
11.
11 for Mandrake,
23.
23 for Enwin.
9.
Enwin.
No, no. It's fine. It's fine.
5 for Thoe. Because this was an afterthought, I'm having all of you go behind
Yeah,
him and the bear, okay?
Mhm.
Yes.
Day,
20 not nat.
29, yeah. What did you get, Enwin?
23.
23, that's right. So it's gonna go Enwin, Day, Mandrake, Thoe, Nyx. You doing anything? You're
I got a
staying
9.
Okay.
So, from what we know,
He briefly said this was a challenge that I want to do.
from the Jabberwock, you said?
from the Jabberwock.
Okay, that's all I need.
Cool. That being
Nix is out. He's like, yeah, you did.
Just have fun.
cool. You go. You're like, wait a second.
No, I'm staying.
You're like 2
I'm saying,
seconds.
I just-
You grab some food and you're like, go.
No, I'm participating.
Okay. There is a moment where you stride forward. As you are running forward to get close to this bear, your sword raised in hand, Harvey gives you a little boost of speed as he tries to kind of skirt away from this thing, but you, no, and you move him forward. There is a moment where the bear is striding forward as well, but he just manages to pounce on you first, moving at a very high velocity. 18 versus armor class.
No.
Okay, this bear tries to sort of bite into your shoulder a little bit, moving at this high speed. The bite misses and the claws sort of rake outward towards you as the bite misses and the claws, that is the 18 didn't hit, so 17's not going to hit.
Definitely.
So the claws sort of like cling against your shield a little bit as you have it up.
And talking is a free action.
Talking is a free action.
Unless it's dire, stand back. And he's just gonna go like just lunge towards him with his sword.
Give me
and
an attack.
with the purple sword. Wham! Come on. That is going to be a 24.
Perfect.
Okay.
24 hits. Roll
Hits.
damage. And then give me a dexterity saving throw.
That's 13.
Okay?
And dex save. 7.
Some of the blood from the bear, as you cut into it, splatters across your shield, and you that doesn't really affect you as much. You see a little bit of smoke coming up, but some of it hits your face. As it hits your face, you feel this burning in your face as you take 3 points of acid damage that bite against your skin and cause it these angry red welts to sort of raise up on your skin.
Yeah.
Okay? That was your move. Are you doing anything else?
Oh yeah, because I get 2.
You do.
I don't know. I didn't think about that. Then that's going to be a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
And that is going to be 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage.
Yeah,
Okay.
Totally forgot that.
You watch as Grim starts carving chunks out of this bear, and the bear is sort of screaming outward in the space. And it's beginning to circle around him. Enwin.
I'm gonna grab the necklace to put the armor on.
Okay.
And he said not to do anything, so I'm just gonna hold my action until he says to do something.
Okay. The necklace, the mandibles like break into your spine a little bit. You take the 1 point of damage. Day.
I am also going to hold my action because he said not to do anything.
Got it.
Until he looks rough. If he starts to look rough, I'll cast healing words
Got it.
at second or third, depending on the time.
Mandrick, what are you doing? Nix, you are up, followed by Thoe.
I am going to load my my handbow of alchemy
Okay.
with a holy water
Okay.
and just hold my action after that.
Okay.
That way it's loaded in case.
Holy water is loaded into the handbow of alchemy.
Yeah.
Great. Thoe, on her turn, actually holds back as well and doesn't really do any. Nix, you're not doing anything?
I'm gonna hold banishment. I'm not
Okay.
gonna cast it, I'm holding it.
Yep. All right. Holding banishment. And Thoe holds her action as well.
Yes, correct.
On the bear's turn, it will turn back to you, this time sort of growling in ferocity as it does. Some of that black ichor opening up from its wounds and latching onto the bear, causing the skin around some of those bones and muscles to pulse and move. That is a 24 to hit.
Hits.
Okay. I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
10.
You take 15 points of necrotic damage that leaks into your body as these claws rake against your skin. It will then attempt to bite into your shoulder. What was your con save?
10.
Uh,
No.
10, okay? Your hit point maximum will drop by 5
Okay.
for the remainder of this fight.
Okay.
Can that trigger my healing word and my action?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm casting it at, what level is this? 3rd level.
Okay.
That's going to be 1, 4, 5, and then 6, 7. So he'll take 7, and then do I also do my action?
If you would like. If you, usually your held action is you're holding just an action.
Oh, okay, because it was a bonus action to do
You
healing
don't
word.
get to hold an action and a bonus action. If
Mhm.
you would like to have cast a different one, because we're actually at the top of the initiative order again, I'm actually giving you kind of like a separate. So if
That's
you want
okay,
to
I'll just-
use a higher action here, you can.
No, I'll just do the healing word for him here, and then I'll do my action when it comes back to mine.
Okay. You watch as Day reaches outward and casts healing energies that gravitate, she's done it 1,000 times, that gravitate towards Grim, and as it does, the wounds on the bear begin to close, stopping the flow of black ichor as some of those wounds around the bear close.
Do they heal him too?
They do not.
Okay.
Okay, so then I am going to attack again with my sword.
Hang on. So
Okay.
that was him,
Yep.
that was the bear, activating the held action, you can go.
Okay. The first one is going to be a 26.
26 hits, roll
Okay.
damage.
Damage is going to be. That is going to be. 14 points of damage.
14. Once again, the sword slices around, and this time it reopens some of those wounds that just closed, cutting deeper and deeper into this bear, which is leaking even more of the black fluid. Give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
That's going to be 21.
21. You manage to avoid the black blood that flies out of it, and instead of hitting your skin, you bend down, catch it with your shield, and shrug it off to the side. As the blood hits the ground, you see these little puffs of smoke exit out from the ground.
For the second one, that would be a 19 to hit.
19 to hit hits.
Okay, and that is 9 points damage.
9. Perfect.
And a con save or no?
No, you're all good. All right, that is his turn. Do any of you do anything? Enwin,
If he hasn't said
Okay.
anything, still.
Mandrake.
I'm gonna.
Hang on, Day might have something. You need to think about this because you guys got a lot of time. So
Mhm.
you need to decide if you're doing anything. Keep
Uh,
this fight moving.
She's going to channel divinity so
Okay.
that the bear's life force is marked for termination, and all of the attacks against him have vulnerability against him for a round.
For 1 round.
I believe it's 1
He's
round,
marked
if I'm
for-
not mistaken.
What does this do?
You choose with affects a creature. You must finish a short long rest. Beginning of where are you? I just read it. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
As an action, you choose one creature you can see within 30 feet of you, cursing it until the end of your next turn. So the end of my next turn.
End of your next turn.
And then the next time you or an ally of yours hits the cursed creature with an attack, the creature has vulnerability to all of that attack's damage, and then the curse ends.
Got it.
But it doesn't give me like a certain amount of times that I can cast it. So
Got it. Okay. You feel weird, buddy. As Day begins to cast outward to go against this bear, you feel somewhat weaker. Your skin gets real pale. You don't know what it is, but some of the oomph that you had with you is just... Man, you don't know what it is. You just feel kind of sick to your stomach.
Got it.
Okay? That's Day's turn. Mandrake.
Would I notice him looking strange?
You notice him looking a little pale, but you don't know if that's the battle or what just happened.
Okay.
He's also taken some hits, and some of this black goo has gotten on him.
Right.
Keep it going, buddy.
I'm gonna pull out my potion of necrotic resistance and just hold it.
Okay. You got the potion in hand. Nyx.
So, did I see the werebear not going after anyone but Grim?
Yes.
And they're just bloodbath after each other.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Banishment on Grim.
Okay.
It's Charisma 17. Saving throw.
interesting choice.
Charisma, that is going to be a 7.
7. He's gone.
Grim is gone. And so is the bear.
Are the bear and I still fighting?
That's Nyx. Thoe, do you do anything as he's gone? You're in a weird place, man. You remember when you died?
Yeah. Like in that like limbo-y kind of.
The ether forest?
Yeah.
The limbo
Yeah,
forest?
uh-huh.
You're back there. It's dark. You hear the howls all around you, and you are still in this circle. You are still locked in this place, but now you have an audience as a bunch of different animals have gathered at this particular spot. And you see this throne made of bones that the Jabberwock is sitting on and petting this wolf next to him that you immediately recognize as Gray. And he's just smiling and petting Gray and giving him little scratches behind the ears. And then you're watching this as the bear attacks. It's a nat 20.
Yeah.
You're vulnerable to the next attack. So you're not going to be vulnerable to this attack. You're vulnerable to the next one, which means you won't be taking quadruple damage right now.
Thank God.
Okay?
Gods.
Instead, you will take 22 points of necrotic damage. And then it'll swipe at you with the claws. 17.
Misses.
The claws strike outward. Yep. That's right. The claws. The Jabberwock continues to pet Gray, the soft muse issuing forth from him. The claws strike outward, and as they do, they manage to be deflected by the shield. It is now your turn.
So seeing all the animals around, I'm gonna shift, and I guess I'll have to do a second wind and then use my bonus action to shift.
Okay.
But for my action, I'll do a second wind, which will regain 1d10 plus 10 HP.
Okay.
So that's gonna be 14. Bless you. And then I'm going to use my bonus action to shift.
All right.
And speaking as a free action, if you want the beast, then, and he'll just like shift and be like, then I'm all in, and he'll just
Okay.
go for it.
You want the beast? You got it. Bunny ear, bunny ear.
As a wolf, all of a sudden I'm like,
I think all of the dogs in the immediate vicinity just go. Hmm?
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
That's it. That's
That
all
is your turn.
Serious.
Enwin. Day. Mandrake.
Do we bring him back?
Nix.
I drop it because both of them left, which is not what I wanted. So
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
wave, there's a, and you are back in this plane.
Okay.
Thoe. Nope. Bear's turn.
Cool.
This is your spell has worn off at this point. So this is a 21 versus AC.
Hits.
You take 6 points of necrotic damage. And then it'll strike out again. Come on. Can't hit with these to save its life. The claws, once again, just seem to... You scoot backwards, but you're moving even slower now as you're feeling a little drowsy and beaten up. Okay? It is your turn.
Harvey, how we doing, man? We all right?
I mean, somewhat. I mean, there is a giant not spectral, but undead bear, and he's trying to bite at you, and I really don't want to die. I've grown quite fond of you. I think I've established that before. So hit it with the pointy thing.
Hang in there, buddy.
It's called a sword.
All right, so I'm going to, let's see, here we go. Okay, so for the first attack, that is going to be a 20 to hit.
A 20 hits.
Okay, and let's do some, here we go. That is going to be a 15 points of damage. With the
Dexterity
sword.
saving throw, please.
A D20.
Yep.
Oh god, there we go. 9 plus 15.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that was 10. 10.
10 points of damage.
Oh, for the
For the
saving
dex
throw.
save?
Yeah.
3 points of acid damage.
Okay. Okay. And where are my...
How's he looking?
He's alright. D8, 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 and where's my other D8? Oh god.
It's right there.
Ah. Cool. Here we go. Okay. So, first one's out of the way. Okay, then the second one. Let's see, first one. First one was 16 points of damage. I already got that. Or 15 points of damage.
Yep.
Cool. Then the second one, that is going to be a 19 to hit,
Okay.
and that is 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage.
Cool. And then this third, because we use action surge,
Okay.
and then get 2 extra attacks.
All right.
So that is a 29.
29 hits.
Awesome.
Roll damage.
And that is a
Any of these are crits, you need to let me know, right?
yes, because 19 with the sword, and that's a crit.
That's a crit.
Yeah.
Great.
And so that is going to be 14 points of damage.
All right. The Jabberwock shows up with the 19 and goes over
God.
and
Oh,
puts a
God.
hand on the bear. And he looks over at you and he goes, "Big puppy," and taps the bear.
Got one more left.
Okay.
22.
22 hits.
And you said 18, 19, or 20. Does that go up from there, or does that just...
No.
Okay.
You're good.
22, and that is a 14 points of damage.
14. It was looking rough. It's not looking as rough as before. The Jabberwock showed up, but you're there. Anybody else do anything? Nope.
No.
All right. 25 to hit.
That makes me hurt on the inside.
19 points of damage
Yes,
with
sir.
double 8s on the dice. That's necrotic damage. Finally. 20 to hit.
20 hits the AC, yeah.
Okay. Give me a con save, please.
Con, that is supposed to be 19.
You take another 4 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
Your hit point maximum drops another 10 points.
He says out loud shit. Okay.
All right. Your turn.
Okay.
Now, how's he looking?
What my total HP is right now?
Yeah.
26. So that is a 22 to hit,
22 hits.
and that is 10 points of damage.
Give me a dex save.
That is 14.
Oh.
And the other one is 15 to hit. which
5
probably
points of acid damage.
doesn't- Okay. 15 doesn't hit, I'm assuming.
15 hits. Roll
Awesome.
damage.
13 points of damage.
Grim is looking rough, and so is the bear. They're swiping at each other and doing these blows. With every strike that the bear does, digging its claws into him and biting against his shoulder, Grim lets out another feral scream. At some point, you don't know when it happened in the battle, but Harvey has joined in. So with every scream forward from Grim, there is now a spectral sort of form of Harvey screaming as well, and you've never seen Harvey look like this. He's animalistic and joining Grim in this yell as they exchange back and forth, back and forth. Anybody do anything?
Stare.
19 to hit.
Misses.
23 to hit.
Hit. Keeps up my back.
You take 7 points of damage. I need you to give me another Constitution saving throw.
That is going to be a 22.
Okay. Your max HP drops by another
Yeah, 22.
22. No, you're fine. You managed to resist it.
17 plus 6.
Grim is on his last legs. He can't take another hit like this.
But also the bear's looking pretty crazy too, huh?
He's
Maybe.
looking a little rough.
Let's do this. Let's do this ish.
Okay? Grim takes another swipe. As he dodges out of the way of a bite to the shoulder, one of these claws digs into his back, and his back arches, and you see him cough up blood. The blood flies forth into the air and hits the ground in front of him, and Grim just sort of like shakes it off a little bit and stands there. He's had that weary spot in the battle where the sword and the shield are sort of dragging on the ground with his movements. But Grim is sort of nodding his head back and forth, and he looks like a wounded dog that's sort of circling about as he lunges forward with his sword.
That is an 18 to hit, and that is a. I'm just getting 14s all day long. 14 points of damage,
Okay.
and then that is a 13 to hit, which probably maybe doesn't. And
13 hits.
okay, so
Roll damage.
And it's the 15.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Should be
As you
good.
shove the sword into the creature's chest.
14.
You take 2 points of acid damage. How do you want to do this?
So I'm assuming that like at least like if the big bad's like right here, I'm kind of like underneath. I'm just gonna just run as fast as I can, just go straight for the throat, and just say.
On that last hit, Grim falls to the ground, and as this thing is leaning over him, it's like snarling, and then it's just a boom.
Yep.
What do you say?
I do this in the name of the Jabberwocky, and he just screams it.
The trees shake. The druids all are finally shaken out of their stupor. You are all watching as this bear gets the sword up through the neck, out of the top of the head, and it just sort of stops. And you hear, "I do this in the name of the Jabberwocky," and the sword glows a bright golden color. And as it does, the form of the bear begins to shake and then gets pulled into the sword, piece by piece. The sword alights. As etched on the sword now is this form of this bear, snarling, bits of it falling off, and the Jabberwock steps out from the sword.
Appeased.
Good puppy.
She's gonna walk up, even with the Jabberwock there, and cast Cure Wounds at level 5.
Okay. Do you ask permission first, or you just walk out?
I just do it.
Okay.
32.
I mean, based on how the healing is done thus far, it's been actually hurting than healing. So.
Okay. He nods his head in respect, and your shoulder gets a quick burn. Just a
Worth it.
yeah. Cool. You have been hunter's marked. And he will nod his head and disappear off into the woods.
Grim's gonna take a huge guess. Oh god, he's gonna collapse on the ground. Just,
Apparently, this works to wake you up.
Noted.
You take a point of damage.
32.
I feel so much better.
Everyone, sort of shaken out of their stupor, comes over to where the bear was, but there's no remnants, there's nothing there. From now on, under the blessing of the Jabberwock, any creature, non-humanoid, that you kill and claim in the name of the Jabberwock is stored in the sword and is to be released on a 19 or a 20. The Jabberwock has been released. This bear is the last one. So right now, the bear is stored in the sword, but you can choose to change that should you claim the creature as a kill for the Jabberwock. It's got to be the death blow.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take the bear. I mean,
Oh, you don't have a choice, darling.
Yeah.
It's etched. It's etched into the sword. Just a heads up.
word.
It'll be reflected on D&D Beyond. Cool. Other than that, the morning and the day is yours.
Do you want to tell us what that was? Or just like,
So.
you can elaborate, please, a little.
All right. while I was sleeping, it was so great. I was just and they were
Cut to the chase.
And then the Jabberwock appeared in front of me, and there
Wait. Did you just make a pun?
Wait.
Chasing.
To the chase because I was. You said
I'm
chase.
this close to killing you right now. I'm not.
It wouldn't take much at this point.
Valid
Please
point.
don't let me cast calm
Comment
emotions.
withdrawn.
You've upset him.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, it was too good.
Sorry, dear.
Anyway, getting back to the hunt, to chase, whatever you will. The Jabberwock came to me, and there was very strong words exchanged. That maybe I was being too frivolous, maybe with how I was addressing him or calling his name in places I shouldn't have been.
Or making deals.
Oh,
with
yeah, they
people
hate
we shouldn't be making.
Yeah, I know that now.
Or talking
I
about us all
know
the
that
time, or being polite, or inviting you. No, we're getting too far
But you're all
into it
safe at
now.
this point because he said he would come after you, but now we're okay because it doesn't seem like he wants to come after you anymore. And the bear was, I'm assuming, a punishment for taking his name so lightly. Yeah.
Okay, well,
I hope you're
it's
happy.
done now.
And so are we. And I leave.
Nyx walks.
I think I'm forgiven.
I don't think that's how that
Like
works.
he said we're glad.
He said we're done. And
Grim?
You.
Mandrake will follow next.
There you go.
Nyx,
Stop.
wisdom saving throw.
Being such a fool.
10.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Mandrake follows after Nyx. You guys are still clear.
Is there an actual mark on her?
Oh yeah.
She's just gonna. Do you know what this is?
This is something I would know.
No, you've never cast this.
Okay.
Anybody here that wants to do an Arcana check that's a magic user? Unfortunately, Nyx just walked away.
Oh, maybe next time you're in a town, you stop going.
She's
to
gonna
those.
just walk away at this point. Nyx, I need your help, please.
So it goes like Nyx, Mandrake's following after, and then you both hear like, Nyx, I need your help, and you both turn around and look, and you see Mandrake, and Mandrake's sipping his tea.
I'm so sorry to have to ask this when you are feeling very upset right now.
Not at you.
I healed him, and then this showed up, and it didn't feel great.
That's a 19 on the day. My Arcana is a +9.
That is a hunter's mark. This hunter's mark allows certain individuals to track prey.
Can I
It-
put together that it was the Jabberwock that did that?
Yeah, she said that she walked forward. I would say the Jabberwock even cast.
Okay.
Normally, a hunter's mark does not last that long, but you don't know what happens when it's cast by him.
Looks like you're first on the Jabberwock's kill list.
The men in this city are just so emotional. The woman shows them up for 2 seconds, and they're all like, "Oh, let me just put a mark on her." Anyway, beside the point. Thank you for your help. Yeah. I'm on your side on this, if it makes you feel any better.
There's
It
no
was-
sides to this. I'm done with him.
And you have every right to be.
Single tear.
I want you to know that, first of all, you're valid. But second of all,
Mandrake, you're here for all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're gonna have to put these things aside at some point. And I want you to know that when we have to come to that point, I am here for you, okay?
Thank you.
And since you're here, while we're at it, I do need to apologize to you. I feel like I came across the wrong way the other day about the hat thing. It's not you. I don't know who is up there. And that's terrifying. So, if there was a chance that one day we could possibly sit down, have a conversation, maybe some tea, that might be great. But until then, I'm really sorry, Mandrake, but I can't cast anything into your hat in good conscience for this group.
I don't know that now is the time for this, but,
Is there ever a time like the present?
Would you like me to speak for them? I'd be happy to. Would you
Go
like
ahead, Dad.
Would you like Nix to leave as well?
Nix can stay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Less witnesses if he leaves.
Nix should definitely stay.
Mandrake will turn to look at you, and his eyes go a little dull. Speak.
Okay, Hat. This is gonna be really weird, but I feel like there's a respect here that is deserved. I would like, with your permission, to cast Zone of Truth on you.
No, you do not have my permission. What is your next question?
Can we trust you?
Yes. Why would you not?
Because we don't know who you are, and all the clues have led to something.
I am Mandrake Madigan's father. I am the Hat.
Were you?
I am an agent of chaos. I work to release the people from the tyranny of the court itself. I am a force for good in this world.
A force for good.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you afraid of certainty?
Not certainty, dear.
Then what?
He loses who he is when you come out.
Yes.
That's a little scary.
Yes.
He lost all his memories one day when you came out and woke up and there was blood on you.
Yes.
That's a little scary.
Yes. I killed intruders to the camp.
This is information we did not know before.
He knew this.
So, with this information, it's a little easier to be understanding. But before, fear took over a little bit, and
When I'm killing people that you wish to be killed, you feel better.
I don't want anyone in this group killed.
Understood? I do not wish to kill anyone in this group yet.
Yet.
They serve my purposes. Why would I? They are my son's companions and friends.
And so if someone is not his friend,
No. Why would I seek to alienate myself? He is a means to an end, and one day he will become a Hat as well.
okay?
That is what we do. We serve wonder.
Perfect. I
That is
appreciate
his
your time.
destiny. That is his benediction.
It's benediction. To become a hat.
To become a force for good.
Well, I feel better.
All right.
You gotta admit, he had a freaking creepy hat just a couple weeks ago. It's like that thing came straight out of hell.
I was not aware of this. The cat?
You didn't know about the last hat.
I was locked in a cage. After being sacrificed to save all the people.
Okay. That's probably a conversation for you and Mandrake then.
There is no conversation to be had. I am back doing good for the kingdom.
Perfect. Then we're at
An accord?
an accord.
Wonderful. And then, Mandrake, you are back in control.
Feel better?
Yes.
Good.
She'll cast into it if he still wants. Healing word at third.
Yes. Do you want that?
It's not necessary now. We're not splitting up again for a while, I hope. Nix. We're not splitting up again for a while. I hope.
Okay.
Let's head back to Thoe and Enwyn and Grim. Grim, you're going to need some time. So you sort of head off, and some of the druids offer to assist with a healing spirit to help you with this. And when you are left in a clearing, you have noticed that Enwyn has not eaten any food nor drank anything today.
You seem to be feeling better.
I do.
I'm really angry with you right now.
I assumed that would happen.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking that it's my choice on how I protect my people.
Yeah, but I broke a promise thanks to you.
So did I. And it means more to me than it does to you.
You could have said something. Anything.
You would have stopped me. Tell yourself you wouldn't, but you know you would have.
What has happened to all of your people? All of your people may be inside of you, but all of your people plan to be here. All of your people plan to be in this clearing. All of your people were to be born.
I know. And all of them would have been wrong.
How do you know?
Because
you
they
never
were
asked
wrong.
them.
Not that they would not have been right. There would have been something wrong with every one of them when they were born.
Who's to say that it would have been
The
wrong?
queen inside the tree. The queen who's corrupting them. The queen who's causing problems.
The queen who is now corrupting you. The queen who is inside of you now. The
Charisma
queen who we
saving
could have
throw,
fought
Bowie.
before. Charisma?
Charisma.
Crap. That's a 13?
As she begins to scream at you, Thoe bamps out of existence. She is banished. It's right when she goes, the queen who is inside of you, the queen who is corrupting you, the queen who is... And when she's gone. Would you like me to drop it?
Bring her back.
I'm happy to. She was making me very uncomfortable.
You're making me very uncomfortable. Bring her back, please.
Understood. The spell drops. You were standing in front of Enwyn again. His hands are up.
What was that?
I suspect she didn't like that you were speaking like that.
She?
You know.
Did you have anything to do with it?
Nope. I wouldn't do that to you.
So now she has control. Can she do that to any of us?
I have no idea.
Who did this?
I did. I made the choice.
How are we supposed to fight you? If she'd come out of that tree, we could have fought her. How are we supposed to fight you if she's inside of you?
We'll figure it out.
This was dumb.
Oh, I. But it was the right choice.
Probably gonna hate you.
That's fine.
Later.
We're gonna figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out. That's where we're gonna end tonight's episode. And it's too good of a line, and it's too good of a message to end off on. As Grim has accepted and fully embraced and gotten the blessing from the Jabberwock, a drastic decision was made tonight, one that we are still feeling out the ramifications and repercussions of throughout the space. It was clever, and just clever enough. Your father's time limit is up. with that conversation. So any time granted will be at your behest.
Okay.
He will no longer have any sort of hold.
Okay.
But just so you know, you and I will talk.
Oh gosh. Okay.
That wasn't foreboding.
That being said,
I'm super comfortable.
some huge paradigm shifts tonight. Thank you all so much, audience, for sticking with us and tuning in with us. As next week we dive even further along into the tools necessary to stop whatever this ritual is that is happening. The Red Keep, as we count ever more closer to apocalypse. What I am hoping to do for all of you and for the cast is to, it hit me the other day that New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve are both on Tuesday this year. It's gonna be tricky for you guys. So what I'm hoping to do is get this season 1 at a good point before then, and give you guys those nights off and do some Christmas one-shots. Where we play Elves in Santa's Workshop, or I have a really fun one involving reindeer that I've been dying to try, or fighting Krampus. So so I have some fun ideas for some one-shots that I want to do, but it gives you guys a timetable, October, November, December for a spell, but giving you guys to that point with ending what I believe to be season 1. Okay? So, we love you guys. Indigo Connect. And, hey, do you wonder? We'll see you all very soon. Tune in on Friday for the next episode of our Tabletop game that's set in Neverland. We'll see you all soon.